Good morning, traders, and this is your Aussie day trade setup for today. So I just want to double check that we don't have nonsense data in this chart. Haven't opened it yet. So we do have a little bit of nonsense data. So that's the actual close. This last bar is, I don't know why it keeps coming in with the broker, but anyway, that gives us, well, it doesn't change the picture much at all. Okay, so we ended up with a fairly strong bullish bar, and that was because the US markets were rallying due to the Feds yesterday. But then after our market close, there was some negative news that came through, and we've ended up with some pretty bearish patterns on the international markets at the moment. So 10 cent right now is flat at minus 0.27%, and I think the big thing yesterday was the rand. I know the rand was trading at 19.20 at one stage, which probably also sort of helped this move to the upside. But I see it is fairly stable at the moment, just hovering on 1906 at the moment, 1906.9. So the international markets, I have a feeling, are moving to the downside. There's a lot of signals there. There are a lot of bearish signals on the international markets that we should be looking for shorts. But unfortunately, this market is driven by the rand. So the weaker the rand, most of our top 40 have some profits coming in dollars. So they've been, they're pretty much being sheltered from a lot of the noise in the market at the moment. However, by the sounds of what the president announced yesterday, with pretty much a very gentle easing of the lockdown, but it's still going to restrict businesses, I can't help but feeling that this is an exhaustion bar back to test the levels of a range. Okay, so what I'm looking at the moment, and if you look at the 3 hour, we had a pretty good rally, exhaustion bar, and then inside bar, and then that last one is not important at all. And we've got a grouping of oscillators now. So that's kind of my play at the moment. I don't see it going much higher than this. It'd be very interesting if it does. But I have a feeling this is kind of the triple top level that we're at. And also can't see it happening sort of today, on a Friday, just before markets are going to close for the weekend. And it's a long weekend for South Africa as well. So yeah, so I think there's probably going to be some profit taking here, and then probably feed off some of the news overseas. If there are any catalysts overseas and drive the market down, I think we're in for a little bit of a move to the downside. So right now, these tails here as well are also telling a story. We kept selling off and the buyer stepping in. I mean, but ultimately we had a 1,200 point day again. Yeah, it does look a little bit tight to me at the moment. It does look like more top of range. So I'd like to see some confirmation before getting in. So right now the trend is up. We do have top of range, but I want to see confirmation coming in. So for me, confirmation would be something like this. You can see green, 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 and then a red pin bar. And that would give me some fairly good confirmation that that's what's happening. This here does look like an exhaustion bar, but again, I want to see confirmation. The confirmation I'll look for is pretty much on the 12-minute. You can see here, little pin bar, there's a confirmation bar, rejection. There's enough happening there to convince you that it's moving to the downside. At this stage, this looks like a bit of a flag, break above the range, and then retest a bit of flag. So what I'd be waiting for is a little bit more confirmation. So in other words, I want to see if we do gap down slightly. I want to see them move to the downside and then find some support somewhere, which will probably be somewhere in this area here. Then another attempt to get to the high and a rejection of that high. That would give me the confirmation that I need for a move to the downside. And that would also give me a fairly decent risk to reward. It'll be about a 250 point stop loss. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at, trend is up at the moment. It's just that we are at top of a range. So if we do break through the range, then this trend will continue for some time today. But if we battle to get through the range, then we're going to see something completely different. I just want to check the 4 hour for any diversions. We don't have any diversions. And the next thing I want to do is just check the weekly. Nothing really transpiring on the weekly either. It's been a fairly strong sort of month and a half at the moment, or 6 weeks. Okay, so anyway, for me today, very cautious about what I see, and probably, to be honest with you, probably not going to trade the Aussie today. DAX has got some nice setups on it, and as does the US markets. I think there'll be an opportunity to get in early on the US markets as well for a bit of a more structured move, if I can put it politely. Yeah, that's kind of my view on this at the moment. Yes, trend is up. We should be going with the trend, but alarm bells are going off in my head that we are at top of range and that this range actually plays out. So it is a fairly significant level if you look at the higher time frames. And let's just minimize this. So you'll see quite a bit of interaction with those two levels in the past. And sort of, it's all over the place, but there's quite a bit of interaction here in this area. And then in recent times, this is the third time we've attacked it. Does look like a fairly big cup and handle here as well. If we remove the upside, we do have this gap here as well to the upside. So if we do break this level, then 46,474 will definitely be the next area to watch. Okay, but obviously we're going to need to break through, and we haven't broken through yet. And my oscillators are saying, be careful. We are looking a little bit tired. Okay, so anyway, guys, if you're going to trade this one today, just be cautious and be patient. Wait for the break to the upside. If it does break to the upside, then by all means ride it up at least to that gap. So 46474, try use this trailing stop, or just keep a tight stop and keep moving it up until your target is hit. Alternatively, stay out of it and pick it up on Tuesday again, which is probably what I'm going to do. Don't trust what's going to happen here. And my gut feeling right now, looking at what is transpiring in the US markets, is I'm waiting for shorts opportunities on the US markets and the DAX as well. So waiting for some structure to form there and get in. And I think that's pretty much what's going to transpire here as well. Even if we do go up and close that gap, I think that would be the most logical point for the bears to get in. Okay, so anyway, guys, that's my view at the moment. A little bit confused and a little bit cautious, but nevertheless, money in the pocket is always good. Okay, hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.